Well, the good news is this 1980 Suzuki FZ50 project has been completed. It's done. There's a few other odds and ends I still need to do. For example, I need a bigger jet for the carburetor, and I need an expansion exhaust or muffler for an expansion chamber muffler for the exhaust. And that's only because I upped it to a 60cc bore. But everything else is done. Electrical, paint, carburetor, engine mechanical, engine cosmetic, wheels, tire replacement, front shock absorbers. Every single light bulb in this thing was blown. Every single light bulb on this entire bike was blown. I'm not going to repeat myself again. Yeah, so, I mean, everything started adding up, and once you're in it for a couple $100, you're either going to lose that couple $100 or you're just going to go for the home run and just finish it. Well, I decided to finish it, and we're going to find out what it all cost me. So while the bike may have survived, did my wallet. This basket, by the way, this is the last final touch I had to do. I ended up painting this black. I bought a fresh can of white appliance paint, which is that nice hard shell kind of ceramic-like finish. It's an epoxy paint, really tough stuff. I bought a can of white, and as soon as I opened the cap, the tip broke off, and I couldn't extract it without puncturing the can. So I used the black that I had, and this is it. The brackets, again, were made from, this is just from the hardware store, just these little erector set style pieces, and they work nicely. I also used a thread locker on all of those nuts because they will back off with vibration. So something I learned on an older project I did years ago. Anyway, so let's sit down and have a nice chat. What did it cost to restore this bike? Okay. Got my calculator, and I got all my receipts. This one is for two 8.5-inch 220mm front shocks from eBay. This was $26.95. Treatland. This is for a Suzuki FA50 45mm kit. This is the top end kit. The cylinder and piston, $140. Plus shipping, $153.75. Okay, this one is for the front head badge and the decal. This is actually from I Love Japan Motors. They're based out of Paphos, Cyprus. Okay, $50.91. And now we're getting to the big receipts. These are from Babbitt Sports Center out of Muskegon, Michigan. This one is for a tack gear washer. This is for a 12 by 28 by 8 bearing, 2 oil hose clamps, one 15 by 42 by 13 bearing, one oil seal, oil seal, oil seal, oil seal, kickstart oil seal, hose 4.5 by 8.5 by 600mm, drain plug gasket, carburetor float gasket, carburetor needle valve assembly, frame cover, that's the center cover on the frame, throttle cable, and the total is, because they gave me a $41 discount, $160.16. And that does not include shipping, or does it? No, shipping was a separate charge. It's not shown up. It did not show up on this receipt. Okay, here's another one from Babbitt's. 5 stator cover screws, one 20 by 47 by 14 bearing. Total is $28.30. Babbitts again. 3 screws, 3 nuts, 2 bolts, 6 by 18, 2 exhaust gaskets, 1 bottle fitting. That's the oil level indicator. Tail light bulb, air cleaner assembly, muffler cover, rectifier assembly, headlamp assembly, oil level inspection window. Oh, that's okay. Frame cover. Fender, front brake cable, rear fender, mud flap, rear mud flap. Okay. This one is $251.83. I think some of these might be on, because they split the order up and shipped it in separate lots. So there could be some, hopefully there's no duplication here. Hold on a second. If that frame cover is on this one, where is that? It's going to be hard to add up if they really did what I think they did. Yeah, this one here, I could have sworn was on another receipt. Cover frame front. Cover frame LH. Okay. That's the side cover. One of these is the side cover. Gotcha. 20. Yeah. All right. I see what they did there. Okay. All right. This is for 2 lock washers and 3 washers. It doesn't really granularize or tell me what that is. So $14.75. Ooh, here's a good one. Carburetor gasket, $2.95. All right, here we got the needle valve plate. This is the mount that holds the needle valve into the carburetor of the needle valve assembly. And I had to replace that because I lost the original. That was $3.30. Okay, here's a nice heavy-duty one. We got, let's see, front cover, upper clamp. Those are the clamps that hold the side covers in place. They broke off. 2 fuel filters, 1 speedometer cable, fuel tank gasket set, fuel cock lever gasket, strainer cup gasket, fuel cock cup. And the total is $46.73. And I got one more, and then I have to go from memory. So this one, we've got 2 cushion swing. Okay, these are the cushions for the engine mount. 2 oil hose clamps, 2 turn signal bulbs, 2 carburetor protectors. Those are the little foam pads that hold the battery in place. 1 screw. 1 bearing, a 12 by 16 by 16 bearing. Center stand stop. 2 by 5 by 600 millimeter hose. 1 spark plug. 1 tool assembly. That's the tool kit that goes under the seat. Oil pump cover, kickstand, guide kick SFT. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the spring cover. The kickstand, headlamp, chrome trim ring. Fuel tank cap gasket set. Or no, that's the oil tank cap gasket set. That is $109.92 plus $109.92. Okay. There's more. Plus $25 for a can of clear. $6 for a can of red paint. About $15 or so in miscellaneous shop supplies. Let's see, there was a tube of Sil Glide that I bought. That was about let's say $10. We've got a bottle of oil. That's about $8. $4 for a can of black paint. I'm not even going to include all the rags I bought. $5 for a tube of, I had to use epoxy on the speedometer assembly. Wire. I didn't put in for wire. There's about $20 and and the $5 for the flasher relay. Got about $5, $10, $50, $20 in miscellaneous electrical supplies. And now $932.55. Now that's excluding the purchase price of the bike. How much should I pay for the bike? Technically, I didn't pay anything for it. Technically, it was part of a trade. I traded my Vespa for the bike. But did I put any money in the Vespa that I got for nothing? My dad gave it to me. Well, yes, I did. I put about $75 into the Vespa, but I'm not going to count that because that is a separate project altogether. So, excluding acquisition costs. All right. Here we go. $932.55. How much is it worth? Well, about half that. No, really, it is probably worth about $600, and that's just an estimate. But yeah. So if I were to go and sell this thing right now, I would do very badly indeed. So, not sure what I'm going to do with it. I've considered, and I'm going to have to put more money into it if I wanted to, run right. I've got to put a bigger exhaust and a carburetor jet because of the bore kit I installed. So that's kind of a shot in the arm right there. I did ride it around a little bit, and it goes nice. It is lean, and somebody did comment on that. Yes, you were right. It is running lean. So I can't leave it like this. I've got to do something. It's also running very restricted because of the exhaust restriction. There just isn't a lot of power there. It really does need a bigger exhaust, an expansion chamber exhaust to be specific. So, yeah, and you want to restore motorbikes for a living. The thing is, and this is really hard. It's like you have to, if you're going to do this for money, and I'm absolutely not doing it for money, to make money on. I did it for fun. And you have to realize that when you put money into something like this, it does not mean someone else is going to walk up to you and give you that kind of money, because at the end of the day, it's still a 1980 Suzuki moped. And that's what the world sees it as. And they're not always willing to put money up for a moped. It just doesn't have a very wide audience. Now, there is an audience for this. There are people that will buy this, perhaps even for as much as $1,000, which is what I would need, and I still wouldn't even be breaking even. I would still be losing out not only in time, but energy. And I put a lot into this bike. I put a lot into it, more than I should have. But it was out of passion rather than out of the need for making a profit. There is no way I could have taken this thing and done what I did and made a profit, at least not to the level of detail. In fact, excluding the acquisition costs, had I just put, let's say, $400 into it, I would then have to figure out where to put that $400. What does it need the most? Well, the brake cables, for example, I could have reused. The throttle cable I could have reused. A lot of things I could have saved. I could have, I could have actually done just a new piston and rings, and maybe just had a shop bore out the cylinder just one size, first oversized maybe. But that still would have cost me a substantial amount of money because it's machine shop work is expensive to have it done right. You know, it definitely needed front shocks. It definitely needed cosmetic work because no one is going to pay, you know, $500-600 for a bike that looks like hell, and it did look pretty bad. Yeah, it's just, this is one of those things you restore something like this because you want to, because it's something you enjoy, it's something you want to. You want to do this for fun, not because you want to make money. But I couldn't say no. I saw this thing when the guy unloaded it off the truck to show it to me. I'm like, you know, I really like that. I think it looks really sharp, and I'd love to own it just to have it, in my house, and hopefully someday in my garage. So I'm probably not going to sell it. It would be foolish of me to sell this thing because I would lose so much money and effort. And I still want to put a set of handle grips on it. These are a little bit beaten, weather beaten, and I think, you know, it would look nice to have a nice new set of handle grips on it. And maybe somebody offers me a couple grand. Maybe someone walks up to me and says, "Here, I'll give you $1,000. I had one when I was a kid," or maybe $1,500, you know, because I loved it so much, and I'd like to, you know. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's one of those things. You know, maybe 20, 30 years from now, when these mopeds are even harder to find, and, you know, they have more nostalgic value, you know, maybe it'll be worth a little bit more. Gotta tighten that bolt down. Whoopsies. What do I need? 2 10mm wrenches? Okay, I got that. I'll fix that up right now. But yeah, it's done. Good to go. Oh yes, and I didn't even add in the battery. The battery was $25, I think, because I also had to buy a battery drain hose. It never ends. Fortunately, I had a battery charger on hand, so I didn't have to go buy one of those. But well, guys, that's it. And maybe in the future I'll do some more work to this thing. Maybe I'll put a proper exhaust on it, and I can't wait to take it on its first road trip. I got to get it registered, and I'll take it out to you know, to where my parents live. It's a bit of a drive. It's about 20 miles or so, and it'll be a hard run because there's a lot of hills. And if it's one thing I find out, this thing does not like hills. It hates them. It bogs down so bad. So I got to figure that out. Maybe the expansion chamber and the jet kit will help a little bit. But it can't even climb my driveway. It really struggles. So, yeah, we'll have to work on that. All right, guys. Till then.